Have you ever wondered what tender scenario means? Basically, in such a scenario, a buyer says I want, and sellers come up with their offers of goods and services. It's like an auction where the lot is demand instead of supply. So let's take a look at Picaba. It's an up-to-date platform for web and mobile devices that implements a reverse auction scenario for niche markets delivering various goods and services. Or in other words, this platform connects buyers and sellers, allows them to negotiate and provides them with everything they need to accomplish their deals. This platform works across the full range of environments where you have demand and supply, and it is easily customizable for any niche market scenario. Alright, now in details. There are three types of users in this system: a buyer, a seller, and an administrator. Let us have a closer look at the basic scenarios for each type of users. Here is how the buyer scenario looks like. A buyer creates a request, I want, and specifies additional information like budget, deadline, location, etc. After that, the buyer receives offers from sellers. They communicate through the chat within the app. The buyer chooses the best offer and closes the deal. In seller scenario, a seller posts an offer for certain goods and services, gets leads from buyers, creates a quote for a buyer, gets in touch with the buyer via the chat within the app and closes the deal. And finally, the administrator's side. An administrator can edit or delete items like products, services, requests, and tags. Besides this, an administrator has access to the features which make his work more efficient and convenient. For example, advanced search options that show all the items regardless of their status. In addition, an administrator has access to the list of all financial operations within the system. There's a web application and mobile client apps for Picaba service available on iOS and Android. Client apps for Picaba are single-page applications developed on AngularJS framework and support all browsers. You can have two types of mobile apps, a native app or a web container. Native apps have better usability and design, but the development and maintenance are more expensive and complex. A shell app can be a good, reasonably priced option for this and would display the main website on mobile devices. It is much easier to maintain, and you do not have to spend money to hire iOS and Android support teams. In case of a shell app, all the changes of the main website will be immediately displayed on mobile platforms. The main business goal was to create a scalable and customizable architecture which would allow to develop this system in future. And the main feature of this application is that it is cost-effective and easy to adjust to any niche market scenario. The ability of the system to handle a growing amount of users without overloads and crashes is another important feature. The system should be easily scaled up both vertically by improving the hardware capabilities and horizontally by adding separate servers. Now let's take a look at the architecture of the application. It consists of client-side and server-side. We have 6 types of clients here. 2 of them are web clients. One for users, the other one is for administrators. Also, we have 2 apps for each mobile platform, a native app and a shell app. All client applications make queries and receive data from Web API. It sends complicated tasks to the queue and deals with the rest itself. As an example, tasks sent to the queue can be payments, notifications, matching, etc. There's a separate server component for each task, which is responsible for the accomplishment of this task. Now matching. It serves to find relevant services or goods for a particular request from a buyer. In this case, the system uses titles, descriptions, tags, categories, and any other possible custom fields. The matching module uses a special index for quick search. This index is also used by another module that is responsible for full text search. The main data is stored in MongoDB, which is quite scalable both horizontally and vertically. And our architecture allows you to choose any other database to use for this platform. Here is another server component, which is our chat. All the clients of the application use it directly. The modular architecture allows to customize the system according to the customer's requirements. Good examples of customization can be localization, multi-language support, multi-currency support, changes in buy and sell scenario, various payment system support, etc. Now let's have a look at some instances of customization. Let it be a niche market of spa services. An example of customization here might be implementing tips function. The payments component allows us to pay by card, so all we have to do is to add another function to it, which would allow us to leave tips. We can also customize it for taxi industry. In this case, we do not need the products and services modules and we can get rid of them. But we will have to customize the matching module and add distance and location. Another example of customization is an online open tendering, where sellers can see offers of their competitors and change their quotes during the tender. In order to implement this feature, we need to create a corresponding interface, a web page for example, which would display quotes. Also, we're gonna need to change the logics a bit, add functions to create and edit quotes. So all we have to do to customize the platform is to add, delete or edit the existing modules of it. After you have customized and deployed the platform, our expert provides 24/7 support and monitoring. That was the general overview of the system. Other videos contain detailed information about buyer scenario, seller scenario, administrator side, features of the matching mechanism and a detailed overview of mobile apps for Pickup platform.